Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming back, and as always thank you for the support. So again today I'm going to carry on with this Rainbow of Flowers, the Fuchsia flowers. If you remember, or if you've watched the previous video, you'll see how I use these other toppers. This is what I've got left. I've got a piece of the printed cardstock. I think this was cut off of there. I've got this piece left over from the foiled cardstock, I believe. I've got these two toppers, a frame. Today is all about you, sentiment, and a note to say thank you, sentiment. So that's what I'm going to be playing with today. So I have already cut a card blank, which is going to be my usual 6x6. So the card blank itself is 6x12, and I'm just going to come in and score that straight down the middle, and then we'll get that folded over nicely and burnished down. And probably going to end up doing another 10th fold card, just because I like the way they are so sturdy when they stand. So when I was tidying up the other day, I came across these 6x6 Miri mats, rich gold, that Mum must have bought. So I'm going to start using those up. I will be cutting them down a little because I don't want them to be exactly the same size. I do want them to be just a little bit smaller. So I'm just going to take, let's see, I'm going to take 1/4 of an inch off. So I'm going to go with a slightly wider border on this, just for something a little different. Which does mean we will need to cut our other mat down. So we've got the wider white border all the way around. And then this piece here, which we previously cut to 2 notches, we're going to take that to 5.5 plus 2 notches. So then that should fit nicely onto our mat. Still going to be quite a thin gold layer, but we've got the wider white one to start with, just to give us a slightly different look, like I say. Okay, so I'm going to try and do something that's never really worked successfully for me before. So I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to turn this over to my sorry, there's a bit of glue stuck there. Turn this over to my centimetre side, and this has got text on which is running up that way there. So I need to just be aware that this is going to be my left side. So I'm going to start by moving that to 15 inches, and I'm going to score at 14, 13.5 and 13. Okay, so that's gone very well. And then I'm going to turn this around, so this bit doesn't really matter. I'm going to pop that in to a hole there. Actually, I do this one on my other side because I've got my black line to line that up with. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down that diagonal until I meet my other embossing. Okay, and then I'm going to come down. I think I'm going to come down at the 1/2 inch with this one, and again just go down until I meet that embossing, and then down the 5, 5.5, 6, 6.5, 7 and 8. And then I can do the same this way, so we're going at 3.5 down till we meet that line. And it doesn't matter if I do go over it a little bit, because I am going to be putting a border on. So I've done the 3 as well, the 2.5, the 2, the 1.5 and the 1. So now we've got this, so we've got our straight line there, and then we've got our crisscross coming across. So we did that way before, so now I want to go this way. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing, but just remembering that my lines are there is a little hard for me to see. So I'm just going to go all the way up that line until I come to where I have embossed it. And then I should be able to just keep going down those 1/2 inches. So I should get a crisscross pattern, just adding a little bit of texture to this project. And then this one, we're going to get a little harder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn that round, pop that in like so, and I should be able to go across on that every 1/2 inch again. And hopefully we should have a couple of straight lines and then a lattice. Again, just going up to that line as far as I dare. So let's pop that out of the way and then bring that up. And you can see there we've got that straight lines here, and then we've got our lattice over there, just adding that little bit of texture. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that onto my mat, just to make sure I've not stretched the card so far one way that my mat no longer fits right, but we are good. Okay, so let's go ahead and pop this down. So I'm going to be using my Kalau all-purpose glue as per usual, a little bit in the corner of my tacky glue, just so that this sticks down nice and fast. And I just topped up my all-purpose glue, so I tend to top it up about every 2 or 3 days. It doesn't matter if I haven't finished it, I just pop it in on top. It doesn't affect it, it doesn't dry up, doesn't stick to the nozzle. It's been quite a nice little it's quite a nice bottle, and I just like that it is quite small in the hand, I'll be honest with you, but it does deliver just such a thin amount of glue. It is what I like about it. Okay, so popping this on there, giving that a good press down so that the glue connects, and we can pop that to the side. Okay, so what I want to do, like I said to you before, it doesn't matter if these lines meet up or not or cross over a little bit, because I am going to be putting a border on here. Now, as you've seen from the kit, I haven't got any borders left in there, so I am going to have to make a border. So on the edge of this topper sheet, we've got this beautiful muted pattern on there. So I'm going to use that for my little border. Okay, I am going to have to bring in, unfortunately, a piece of gold card, just because I haven't got any of my small pieces to hand. I'm just going to mark that a little bit with my thumb. Actually, I can't see it now because of the light, but just want a narrow little border. I think that should be about where we need to be. And we'll pop that there so we can find it next time. So what's happened is the little bit that I put in my gold shelf has slipped right down to the back, so I couldn't get at it. So we've got a lovely thin little border there, and I want that to go to the same length as this pink. So that was 5.5 I'm going to take it to 5 3/4 first of all, and then I'll see if I need to chop it down anymore. So I'm doing the gold and the border at exactly the same length, so I'm not going to have a border at the end, it's just purely the sides. So this should be the same as that, and it is. And I did also have another little piece of that dusky rose ribbon, which I did think I would pop down there as well, so we will do that. I don't think I'm going to get enough. I've got enough to do a sort of piece down here and a bow, so it will just be a decorative little piece. So I'm just going to use tacky glue just because it's a small piece and because I want to fiddle about with it to get that bow on. So it's going to be good for me if it sticks down quite nice and quick. There we go. And then if I grab some red liner tape, just 2 little bits, I'm going to pop that onto there and onto there, and I'm going to cut this ribbon. I'm going to be as tight as I can with it. I may try and get a ribbon out of that piece, then again I may not. Okay, so let's just press that red liner tape down, just make sure there's a good bit of connection. It just makes it easier to peel it off. There we go. And then just going to put that across the middle there. I want to pull it quite nice and tight to get those creases out, but not so tight that it creases up my card. So I think once I get the foam pads on, that is going to be fine. So again, you can see I've got that little bit of embossing there, so I'm just going to come over just a tiny bit to the left. And I'm just looking to see what pads I should use. I haven't got any strips left. I'm just going to go with these these Hunkydory ones. It's probably about 1 millimeter. So I'm just going to pop my metal edge ruler down, cut those. So this metal edge ruler it came from an old We Are Memory Keepers. I had a self-healing mat, and it's magnetic, and the ruler's magnetic. Sadly the mat is no more, but I still have the ruler, and what I do is, because the legs of my table here are metal, I keep it on the leg of my table, so I literally cannot lose it, which has been the only time I've ever been able to find it since I've had this table, in the whole history of me owning that ruler, to be honest with you. So I'm just putting a little bit of tacky glue on. I'm just going to turn that round so I can see where that is, and then we're just going to actually just need to go a little higher. Oh my God. This is me being indecisive. There we go. So I think that's pretty much great. So let's just bring that in and double check. Could have done with going over just a little bit, I feel, but I can live with that. Okay, so, and you can see, although it was a little bit bowed, with the foam pads on now, it's nice and straight. Okay, so my feeling for this one was that I was going to use this bigger topper. mainly because this other piece has got all of those flowers on. So by the time I've cut that down or done what I want to do with it, that smaller topper is going to fit on there a lot better. So that's why I decided I was going to use this one. Now I wasn't sure whether I wanted to do this as a thank you card or as a today is all about you card. So let me just pop this one out as well. Move that one out of the way. Actually do like that one better. And then the other thing I wasn't sure about was whether I would take some of that and cut that in, but I think really if I was going to do that I should do it when I did the back, so I'm going to leave that for now. But there is an option, so before you glue this down, if you cut this in half, you could pop that on two of the corners just to add that little bit of detail, and then snip off any excess hanging over. So I think that ship has sailed a little bit for me, but that's fine. We'll manage without. So I'm gonna pop those onto there. I think that's a good amount. And just peel these backs off. And don't worry, I do sweep them off the floor when I'm done. Otherwise the dogs would be walking them all around the house. Or I say dogs, it'd be George. He's the only one that comes in here now. So I'm going to pop that like so. And then I'm going to pop those onto there. I think that would be fine. Like I say, if you wanted to cross that over, you could do. I'm just going to fill up this space here. And we'll pop that underneath there. Other thing, let's see, so I've really got this tiny little bit of a ribbon. Let me see if I can make a bow out of it with the bow maker. Like I say, it may possibly be just a bit too small. So let's see. So we're keeping hold of it than anything else. No, it's not going to be possible. So the other thing though we could do, could just do a knot. See what that looks like. I'm going to trim that. Just do it the right way. That works. Okay, and the other thing I'm going to do now, I'm just going to get some gems, bear with me. So that's the card finished. I know the camera has cut out a little bit, so I'm hoping that I've not missed anything. But the other things you could do with this card, so this is finished now for me, you could use an embossing folder like I did on the last one instead of using this crisscross. This is just useful sort of technique if you haven't got any embossing machine or ability to use anything that will emboss for you, so it just puts that little bit of texture on. The other thing I did toy with doing is just using one of my glitter pens and either going up the straight embossing or some of the diagonals just to add that touch of sparkle. But in the end I just decided to leave it as it was. Okay, so that is card number 1. So I'm just going to get set up for card number 2. Okay, so I've already got another card blank 6x12, so I'm going to make another 6x6 card, and this is what I've got left with the note to say thank you sentiment. So let's bring the trimmer in. I do need to score that, but I'll do that in a second. I'm going to bring in another one of these gold mirror squares, and this time I'm going to cut it to my usual 2 notches below the 6. 2 notches below the 6. So I've got a lovely little thin border there if I need one. Okay, and then I'm going to take this piece, and obviously my usual again would be 4 notches under the 6 and 4 notches under the 6, and then that should fit quite nicely onto my mat, and it does. So let's pop that out of the way and get our card blank scored at 6 inches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And good burnish down. Okay. So before I start to pop that together, I'm going to do what I said I was thinking about doing in that last card. So I'm going to start by just cutting these little pieces here. Obviously you've got a little border there if you need it. And if I just take a little bit of glue, and I'm using tacky just for speed, and I'm popping that on, trying to make it as even as possible on both sides. So I've got 2 little bits there, and then what I'm going to do is just do the same on the other side. So this is going to bring that little bit of foiled detail in to my card. Want it to be around about the same. So let's have a little look. That's much more, I think. Look at that. Looks pretty good. And then I'm just going to turn it over, and then just cut those 2 match my card. Now what I'm going to do just before I disappear off, I just want to check. I was toying with the idea of adding that one in, so I'm not going to do it on this one. I'm just going to leave it like that. But what you could do on another card is have those as corners, or they could even just go, if you cut this one down like so, you could just have a nice corner like that. I may use that one actually, and you've got 4 of them, so we will see what it looks like at the end, but I might use that in that corner. Okay, let's do a little bit of assembling. So I'm going to go with a tent fold again. Works for me. So we'll pop some all-purpose on, a little bit of tack in the corners just for security, and also just so that that sticks down nice and fast for me. And then again with this one, and then just putting that one nice and central, and I'm just doing that by eye, giving that a good press down, just checking that happy with that. Okay, so let's pop our sentiment out. So we've got a little not a sentiment, a little topper with these flowers on. I've also got this just a note to say thank you. So let's see how we can arrange these on here. So we've obviously got this, I mean technically that would just be a nice card, honestly. Even maybe a bow in one of the corners, some gems, job done really. But we've got this topper, so let's see if we can find an interesting way to use them. Like that, so let's see, maybe no, a bit like that either. I think that's actually going to be the best way to do it, just looking at it sort of and how it sort of appeals to me. So I'm going to do it like that. And I'm going to have sort of, we'll do a smaller height for that frame. Let's bring my little ruler in. Let's try and get that a bit straight. So we kind of want that. Let's move out of the way so the ruler can do its job. To be a bit higher. Sorry if you can hear my tummy. Yes, I think that's around about the right height. So these are probably around about 1 millimeter. So and just popping that to there. I'm just going to cut that into 4. A bit down there. And I do tend to put a lot of pads on, I know I do. And I'm just going to I can just see the edge of that pad there, so I'm just going to take that edge off. So we'll peel these backs off. So again with this one, you know, you could be embossing that if you've got the tools to do that. You could be adding that texture on like I did with the last card. Okay, let's just that should be about right. Yeah. And then for the centerpiece, I want to use some Practice Companion ones if I've got some here. Bear with me 2 seconds. I'll just grab and repack. So these ones are a strip. So let's just put that on. I might just be able to get away with just 1. So yeah, I'll do 2, 1 on each end. And these they feel like at least a 4, maybe a 5 millimeter. So quite chunky. I just need to get the back of it. It's a bit stubborn. There we go, we got it. There we go. So I'm just going to pop those off, add a bit of tacky glue. Okay. And then we're just going to slip that in. It's just like a little cartouche, I suppose. That's there. And then this one, I think I'm going to just go with the same height as here, so on the Hunkydory, probably about 1 millimetre. And that's on there. Bring it back in again. Just going over just a tad. There we go. So happy with that. I think that looks straight. You can't really say that it is, so it should be. So I'm just going to grab some different gems this time. Okay, so I've got these ones out. There's nice, like a hot pink there. So let's have a look. So these ones are not huge. Apologies if you can hear the neighbour's children again. Child. She's not having a paddy this time though. Okay, so don't know if I like that or not. And then maybe the tiny ones. Maybe, let's see. Here's an idea. Let's try this. Ooh, like that. So we've got my smallest one, a medium one, and a diddy one. Yeah, so we've got 9, so that's another amount, so that is good. So let's go with that. It's a bit different, isn't it? So just pick those up, put them away. Right, let's stick these down. So just going to move those over. Pick them back up again. I love putting gems on things, but it's like trying to find a different way to add them on that makes them look a little bit different. You know, it gets a bit samey just to pop the same thing in a corner with a 2 or a 3. See, that's that one. And these are super sparkly, so there we go. So let's just even that out a little bit. Okay, so what I'm going to do next, I think, is just let's put that pin on there. I'm going to add just a little bit of glitter. Now let's see if I can find my little glitter pen. Bear with me 2 seconds. Okay, so I tried out different glitter pens that I've got on this scrap piece, and I'm not really thinking that that's going to make a big lot of difference, and I don't want to put any of this glitter on because I think it'd just be too chunky. I think if I had a Sakura clear glitter pen, that would be really nice because that would be super sparkly, but I'm not going to risk it and ruin it because it is, you know, it's a pretty nice card, so I'm quite pleased with it, to be honest with you. So those are the 2 cards that we've done today. So that was from the Fuchsia Flowers, from the Rainbow of Flowers kit. Next time, I'm not sure if I'm going to come back with some more of the fairies, or I might do, I really need to do a wedding card. It needs to be done before the 19th. So I might do a white on white card, but we'll see when we get there. But it may well just be Hunkydory, so we'll see how we go. But thank you so much for watching. As always, huge thank you for the support that you guys show me. I do appreciate each and every one of you. But until next time, take care of yourselves. Happy crafting. Bye bye.